In Stoic Men Tribe today, we're diving into an important lesson, a moment of clarity, strength, and ancient wisdom. Let's break it down today. We're learning about to change the way you see yourself. Let me ask you something. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Do you see strength? Or do you see mistakes? Do you see potential? Or do you only see your past? Because here's the truth. How you see yourself determines how you live your life, not the facts, not your history, not what others say about you, but the lens you use to look at yourself. That's the real game changer. Most people don't realize it. But we're not fighting the world. We're not even fighting our circumstances. We're fighting the image we've built in our minds about who we think we are. Before we continue, if this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And the scary part? Most of us never stop to question where that image came from. Shift into reflection. Maybe it came from something someone said to you years ago, a teacher who told you you weren't smart enough, a parent who only noticed your flaws, a friend who only saw your weaknesses, a relationship that made you feel small. And little by little, without realizing it, you accepted that version, you made it your truth. You began living through a distorted mirror. But here's the Stoic reminder. You are not what has happened to you. You are what you choose to become. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So why is it that we're so quick to believe the worst about ourselves, and so hesitant to believe the best? Transition to challenge. You say you're not good enough. Compared to what? Compared to who? You say you've failed too many times, but how many times is too many? Before you're allowed to rise. You say you're broken, but broken things can still function. In fact, they can be rebuilt stronger than before, if you stop focusing on the cracks and start focusing on the foundation. Listen, there's a version of you you haven't met yet, a version that shows up with clarity, with discipline, with self-respect. But to meet that version, you've got to let go of the one that keeps playing small. And I'm not talking about fake confidence. I'm talking about a quiet, unshakable knowing that you're allowed to outgrow your past, that you're allowed to rewrite the story, that you're allowed to say, "This isn't who I am anymore." Deep psychological insight tone. Because here's what neuroscience tells us. Your brain wires itself according to repetition. That means the thoughts you repeat the most become your identity. The labels you say to yourself become your reality. The narrative you accept becomes the blueprint you live by. What kind of story are you living inside? And is it even yours? Was it handed to you? Programmed into you? Shaped by someone who didn't know any better themselves? Here's the wild part. Your brain doesn't care whether it's true or not. It just follows the script. So maybe it's time to rewrite the script, line by line, thought by thought, not with delusion, not with fake positivity, but with truth, with new definitions of who you are and who you're becoming. Action-focused, motivational section. Stop saying, "I'm not disciplined." Say, "I'm learning how to stay consistent." Stop saying, "I'm your when I'm always anxious." Say, "I'm practicing calm, one breath at a time." Stop saying, I'm not enough." Say, "I'm discovering my worth, even when it's quiet." Because here's the Stoic wisdom. You are not your emotions. You are not your past. You are what you choose to align with. And alignment isn't a feeling. It's a decision. It's how you carry yourself. How you speak to yourself in silence. How you show up when no one else is watching. You don't need permission to see yourself differently. You don't need approval to evolve. Your life will expand in direct proportion to your willingness to see yourself through a better lens. Build to a powerful truth. Here's what no one tells you. The biggest shift you'll ever make isn't in your bank account, or your relationships, or your body. It's in your identity. Because once you shift the way you see yourself, everything else follows. Your habits, your boundaries, your standards, your energy. You stop chasing things that drain you. You stop needing validation from people who don't even value themselves. You stop lowering yourself to fit a version of you that no longer fits. You stop moving with quiet power. Not arrogance, clarity. Not ego, truth. Closing. Reflective yet empowering tone. So today I challenge you, stand in front of the mirror. Not to critique, but to see. To really see. Not who the world told you you are. Not who you've been in your lowest moments, but who you're becoming. Talk to yourself with the same compassion you offer the people you love, because you've earned it. Not through perfection, but through survival. Through trying again. Through showing up. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. Beneath the fear. Beneath the noise. Beneath the false narratives that never belong to you. Change the way you see yourself. And you'll change the way you live your life. Sometimes, being in position is the most powerful place you can be. 7 ways to make your position stronger. A deep, grounded, Stoic-inspired motivational script on fortifying your mind, protecting your energy, and rising with purpose. Strength isn't just physical. It's not just about how much you can lift, how loud you speak, or how hard you grind. Real strength is about position. The strength of your boundaries. The strength of your mindset. The strength of your inner world when life hits hard and people disappoint. And the truth is, you can be in a decent position today. But decent isn't enough, because life will test you. People will project on you, and storms don't ask for permission before they arrive. So let's talk about how to make your position stronger. Not louder, not flashier, stronger. Here are 5 ways to do exactly that. 1. Strengthen your position with boundaries. A weak position always leaks. Through overcommitment, through guilt, through people-pleasing disguised as kindness. Strong people don't just protect their time, they protect their peace. You want your position to be stronger? Learn how to say no without guilt, without long explanations, without shrinking. Every time you say yes to what drains you, you're weakening your core. But every boundary you hold, that's a reinforcement. And no, boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about keeping your alignment close. As Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. Everything else? Distance it. You weren't built to carry other people's chaos every day. 2. Strengthen your position by mastering your emotions. You can't be strong if your emotions control you. If every insult, setback, or misunderstanding sends you spiraling, you're vulnerable. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Doesn't matter how skilled you are. If you don't control your emotional responses, someone else will. The Stoics had a word for this. Apatheia. Not apathy as in not caring, but equanimity, the calm at the center of the storm. Your power lies in emotional discipline. Feel deeply, but act wisely. Don't let temporary anger burn permanent bridges. Don't let insecurity push you into approval seeking. Don't let jealousy warp your sense of worth. A strong position is unbothered. Not cold, but clear. 3. Strengthen your position through stillness. You know what makes a position strong? Stillness. Not always moving, not always chasing, not always reacting. Sometimes the strongest move is none at all. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strategy. It gives you space to observe, to think, to breathe. In a world that rewards noise, stillness is your weapon. Meditate. Reflect. Walk alone. Let your mind reset. Because clarity doesn't come from chaos. It comes from quiet. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. That soul? That inner space? Strengthen it, and the outside world won't shake you. 4. Strengthen your position by keeping your word. Let's talk about integrity, because the strongest position you can ever hold is the one built on trust, especially self-trust. You say you'll wake up early. Do it. You say you'll hit the gym. Go. You say you'll cut off that toxic energy. Mean it. Because every time you break your own word, you weaken your position. You teach yourself that your promises are flexible, that your standards are negotiable. And if you can't trust yourself, who can? This isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Because when your actions and your words match, you move differently, more grounded, more focused, more free. That's a strong position. 5. Strengthen your position by eliminating dependency. Dependency kills strength. Financial dependency, emotional dependency, validation dependency. The more you need from the world, the less stable your foundation becomes. You want to be unshakable? Start building from within. Learn how to sit with yourself. Learn how to regulate your emotions without substances, without distractions, without a crowd. Learn how to be your own source of peace. Because if peace only comes from someone else texting you back, or the number in your bank account, or applause from strangers, you're always at risk of collapse. A strong position is self-sourced. It doesn't need perfect conditions to stay upright. It's not anti-connection, it's pro-sovereignty. You're allowed to love people and still not rely on them for your sense of identity. That's maturity, that's power, that's position. So how do you make your position stronger? You guard your boundaries like they matter because they do. You lead your emotions, not follow them. You cultivate stillness, not addiction to chaos. You become your own source of trust. You cut dependencies and build independence. You anchor yourself in truth, not fantasy. And you build through consistent, aligned action, not occasional hype. Because here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the strength of your position. So build one worth falling into. Quiet, focused, unshakable, rooted in something real. That's not just strength, that's freedom. When you're finally in a good position, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, people notice, even if they never say it out loud. Here's how they start to see you. 1. You look unbothered. Not because life's perfect, but because you've made peace with imperfection. You don't chase, you don't beg, you move with calm. People feel that, and they wonder how. 2. You feel like a boundary. There's a weight to your presence. You don't need to raise your voice to set the tone. You speak less, but say more. And people think twice before testing you. 3. You radiate self-respect. It's in how you carry yourself, how you speak about yourself, how you refuse to settle. You're not cocky, you're centered, and that energy is magnetic. 4. You're seen as a mirror. Your clarity makes others confront their confusion. Your discipline? It exposes their excuses. Your peace? It threatens their chaos. They'll either admire you or avoid you. 5. You're quietly feared and deeply respected. Not because you intimidate, but because you've become untouchable in the right ways. You don't flinch. You don't fold. You don't need validation. You are your own confirmation. Closing. Soft but strong. When you're in a good position, you don't just look different. You feel different. And trust me, everyone around you knows it. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.